Please welcome Mandy Stadtmiller. Hey, everybody.
Hello.
Hey, I like this mic. It's yeah, it's good. Okay, so I'm just gonna read the start of this Devil Wears Prada style Romana Clay that I have in the works about my time at News Corps, and it's called News Horror. So you kind of see what I did there. Okay. I'm lying in bed with my company's top sexual harassment lawyer. Call it a bucket list thing. Poor Jonathan Saxton. He's been reduced to one of my stories now. I've drank his secret stash of liquor. I've danced around his neatly decorated, almost fetishistically prep school apartment. And we're 69ing, and I'm saying things like, would you like me to do this to you at your desk while the head of HR watches? Yes, he says. Oh my God, yes, that feels so good. Do you think I'm sexy? Do you think I gave you good testimony? Did I do a good job for you? I say with ingratiating coyness, since I've just given him information to help defend the New York paper a few days earlier against a damning, explosive lawsuit from Susan Moran, a woman who's suing the tabloid for, among other things, take a guess. It rhymes with sexual harassment. Yes, Jonathan breathes. Just please stop talking. I caress the top of his dick with my tongue. I'm going to file a sexual harassment claim against you, I enunciate in a nauseating little girl voice before using the patented deep throat method I learned from a devil's three-way a few months back. Letting my throat go lax so I can take his cock all the way into my mouth. I feel slutty and cheap, and I have a modicum of fame, and I don't like myself very much at all. My name is Amanda Slater, and this is my life. I'm 30-something years old. I'm a writer for the New York paper, and one of the top Google autocompletes on my name is male prostitute. That's because I've been on the cover of the paper with a gigolo. I've also been on the cover of the paper with a rapist. I've also been in the paper naked and covered in body paint. I've also been in the paper for dating the world's shortest man from the Guinness Book. And I've been in the paper for a dating column that I then stopped because I thought the guy was going to marry me. But then, when I knew he wasn't going to marry me, I had a three-way with two Italian pilots I met on the street. The nickname I've given myself of late, News Whore. You know how grandmas ask their kids to be called Nana? It's kind of like that. When I arrive at my cubicle at the paper every day, there's a dread I feel. It's hard to pinpoint, but it's almost like when you find yourself suddenly married to a bad one-night stand. It didn't used to be like this. In the beginning, it was fun. In the beginning, I didn't know who I was. Before the paper, I had talent, but I had no backbone. At the paper, I had talent and a semi-formed backbone. Just enough. I had a malleable backbone. That's the perfect kind of backbone for the news business, because you have just enough confidence to do everything they tell you to do, but you don't have enough belief to ever really stand up for yourself. Here's the perfect female tabloid reporter. Highly critical of herself, workaholic, perfectionistic, people-pleasing, comfortable with abuse, incredibly manipulative of other people, especially on command, believes happiness is attained by some point outside of herself, chronically single, alcoholic, an abused little lamb from childhood and good target for mind games, sexually insecure and thereby willing to get approval through whatever means necessary, including and especially inappropriate tabloid acts and antics. I was born for this job. Growing up in San Diego, I did not have a normal upbringing. My parents are both strange and wonderful in their own respects. My father is a Vietnam vet Marine who was shot twice in the face in the war, has had over 150 surgeries, is blind, has a head injury, which affects his personality, has a terrible, unpredictable temper, yells a lot, and counsels the post-traumatic stress disorder unit of Iraqi vets coming back. My mom is deeply obsessive compulsive and depressed. She used to do what she called going crazy in front of me and my sister, making a noise, bending over the sink, and washing her hands until they bruised as her throat conjured up guttural noises. I imagine when I was a little kid, I probably was scared a lot and didn't feel very safe. I sought love compulsively outside of myself the rest of my life to try to get that safety I never found as a child. Or I tried to mimic the intensity that I had in my childhood because that's what I was comfortable with and that's what made me feel alive. They are fascinating, loving parents, but they are weird, embarrassing, naked too often when I was little, inappropriate in what they said and did, and they continue to be so, although now, as an adult, I can process it. My mom recently told me, "You caused the neighbor's divorce because you were dancing around in a bikini when you were 12 years old." I told my mom, as an adult now, that this statement is completely fucked. A 12-year-old is never so sexy that they cause something. This is fucked thinking. She heard me and that made me happy. You see, it's hard for me to say negative things. It always has been. But it's important to look at things as they are, so you can look at yourself as you really are, and so that you can see the world as it really is. My therapist says that if I don't give myself a chance to grieve and heal and thrash and moan and process the feelings that I need to process, then I won't be able to break unhealthy patterns. My therapist says I'm on the verge of becoming a sex addict. My therapist says that I measure my self-worth based on what I imagine other people are thinking of me, adjust my own self-worth accordingly, and I'm thereby in a constant negotiation of how I feel about myself based on what I imagine other people are thinking. My therapist doesn't know half the things I've done. I see now why I'm so perfect for the paper. I'm not blaming anyone, I'm just observing. I'm being a reporter. I look at myself as a pretty classic case of a girl who didn't feel comfortable in her own skin for the majority of her life and dreamed of living a big mythological adventure where she got revenge by showing the world just how comfortable she could fucking be. Or I'm just a whore.